but you kept the vlogs going every so often, and we were privy to things like your proposal and your wedding and a baby shower and so on.
And when I told him I was pregnant,
3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reactorverse Podcast, brought to you by Passion Fruit. I am joined today by the dynamic duo of JV and Jane from C Jane Co TV. Thank you both for being here today.
thanks for having us.
I wanted to get you both on because I've been doing this for a little while, and you came on my radar a little while ago, I think during the pandemic, when I was I think like most people, sort of looking for more channels to fill my time with, and I think I heard about you through friends of friends, and it's just, since then I've been keeping track of your output since then, and it's I have been really fascinated by your journey from what I can glean from like doing my little bit of research on you. You had a really similar experience to like some other channels that I knew, but just the sort of pivots that you've had and what you've been able to share with us on camera was really, really interesting. I want to go over all of that, of course.
Okay.
Your whole history. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you both here. Thank you so much. So as I always do, I like to start from the very beginning, which is even before the channel. For the two of you, since you're such a pair, I want to ask, how did you two meet?
We met in high school.
Yeah, we met in high school.
Yeah.
We're from Canada. We're from Toronto.
Yeah. So we ended up meeting. I was in grade 9, JV was in grade 11, and we kind of just
2
knew
years
each
older?
other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
but we didn't
date.
We didn't speak in high
We
school.
just would always somehow end up like in a hallway alone together. We would never say anything. We were just awkward.
Yep.
And more so him, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we re-met later in life.
Years later, way
yeah.
after high school.
A mutual friend passed away, and we started chatting at the funeral, and
And
and then
we started talking.
He added me on Facebook
Yep.
and started liking my stuff, and then
was it like months later?
because that was January, and then
Yeah.
that June we were at I don't know if you guys have them, but it's like a Jack Astor's restaurant, and
I know I've never heard of one.
it's just
Similar to like Chili's or something.
yeah. Like but there's like a
Yeah.
bar section, and I was at a retirement party, and then I came out after and I went to sit at the bar, and he was sitting at the bar with his friend. And then I just sat down and I looked over and I called out his like full government name, and I tapped the seat next to me, and I was like, "Come here." And then he was like, and he came and sat down, and I was just chatting because it's who I am. And then I said, "Give me your phone." And then I put my number in, and I said, "You better call me." And he did.
And that was it. Yeah. And then we called and texted, and we
Yeah.
went on our first date, and then from there, it's
Yeah.
been
Very
over
smooth.
10 years.
More than 10 years.
More than
now.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
wild.
and I mean, well, within those 10 years, I mean, like we, the audience, have been a part of that from what you've been able to share with us. You started out doing vlogs. That was kind of like the bread and butter of your channel for the first few years.
wow.
Yeah.
Surprised you know that.
It was actually
Yeah.
funny enough though, when we like after our first date, I went backpacking for 2 months in Europe, and I was shooting these terrible vlogs everywhere I went. I think he might have removed them from the channel now because they were so bad.
It might still be up there, but yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where that started. And then when she got back, we kind of started to take it a little bit more seriously with the vlogs. Yeah.
And
did you either of you have any sort of film or production backgrounds like before doing that? Was it did you just kind of pick up a camera and learn on the way?
I did my degree in drama and communications, and I was actually prepping for like television. My dream was I wanted to be a reporter after sporting events. And
Right.
I was like, I'm going to do this. You know, they have a shelf life, so I only have so many years. I'm going to do it. And then I also applied to teachers college and I got in and I was like, bam, that's a constant paycheck.
Yeah.
So then it kind of went to the wayside, but
you've been in drama and like theater.
yeah, I've been in theater a lot my
that
whole
was
life.
that was before. Yeah. So for me, I have no background in this. It's just as a kid, I like to play with the camcorder back then and make little skits and stuff. And
we have found my videos of that. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we'll ever release them. That might be a Patreon exclusive, but we have not found JV's VHS copy yet.
But yeah, so yeah,
but it exists.
I have no background in it, but we just kind of like learned as we went.
Yeah.
Right. And were you both familiar with the sort of the YouTube space before you started uploading there? Like,
more
were you follow
him.
people on there?
I only did it for school projects. So I had like the first video ever posted on our channel was from one of my classes. I don't even know if it's still up there. And it just, and then he started to watch all these videos and be really into it. So and he's like, we could do it.
Hold on. So I first started watching YouTube. I started watching YouTube a little bit late. First, I used to watch it for just the music videos. And then my friend introduced me to Casey Neistat and Good Mythical Morning. Yeah. So that's when I really started to get into YouTube and know about YouTubers. And I saw a Casey Neistat video talking about you could be like have it as your career because they pay you. And then I was like, okay, what's going on here? So from that point on, I was kind of more interested in it. And then I was always extremely shy, camera shy in person, awkward. Yeah. So she was the opposite.
That's why he married me.
So, so the whole plan was to like have her on camera and I would just be like the behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
But
it's a better dynamic with like his nerdiness and my like, hey, look at me, you know, like that's and it's funny because I have the memory of a goldfish apparently because
when it comes to
we'll watch movies and stuff and pop culture and like what happened again? And it was and I grew up without cable and like my parents were pretty poor, so it was like we didn't have a lot, so I missed out on tons of franchises like
not Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
Lord of the Rings,
Star Wars, like all the big stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched our Star Wars, but I didn't know that Anakin was Darth Vader.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was
makes for a good experience.
Yeah.
So when you started, was for the start of the channel itself, was it a mutual aspiration or did one sort of like introduce the idea to the other?
It was.
So I was kind of doing like little tech videos and then
you were watching a lot of Casey and then you were like, we should try this. And then I said, let's do it. And then you were like scared to, and then we kind of just did it one day.
Yeah.
And it felt super awkward.
Yeah. We started doing vlogs and it was extremely slow. We would gain like 1 subscriber a day.
We used to do a dance when we got one subscriber.
Yeah. We'd get one, like one a day. We'd be so happy.
Yeah.
And we did that for months. We did that. And we both had full-time jobs as well. I had a whole career before YouTube. And then I saw like reactions starting to pick up.
And you didn't want to do it. You were like, no.
I didn't know what they were. I was kind of opposed to it, but I started watching like Tyrone Magnus and seeing that he was reacting to movie trailers, and I would always watch movie trailers.
So you were like,
and show all my friends, and like I was like, we might as well try it.
He goes, let's try it. We'll just watch random stuff. We watched like Alex Iono and William Singe and like those ones, and it was
And then it's just cool. Like in one day we got like 100 subs.
Yeah, we doubled our subs in one day.
And then we just we kept going from there.
And we're like, this is what the people want. Yeah.
Because it's again, you had a similar sort of beginning to my friends like at the party where they started doing vlogs and you also started doing reactions at the same time and balancing those two things.
Yeah.
And for the vlogs, like you really traveled for those vlogs. You went to Russia and China and like all over the place. Was that level of traveling something you were already used to? You did that. You said you went backpacking, but so did you just apply that to the vlogs?
I was just like addicted to traveling at first, and then when I met JV, like when we re-met and we started dating, I didn't want to travel anymore. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like I just wanted to like be here and like do things in the city. And like, I don't know, it became, I don't know what I was doing before. I just wanted to.
When you were traveling and were you posting on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you know that like to gain a following, or you were just putting it there?
Just putting it
just to
they were
save it?
terrible. They were so bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sad if they're gone.
Right. So you were just uploading it just to have it, not for people to see.
Yeah,
and
it would
grow
be
and
like,
stuff.
no, I would take a video and I'm like, I'm walking beside what's left of the Berlin Wall. And then I would like say, like, there's 1,200 meters left and this is like blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I just kind of did it. And it had terrible production value. And then JV was like, we got to get a good camera. We got to do this. We have to have a reason for doing it.
I fully like emulated Casey Neistat's style. I used the same music.
He's like, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese.
It just like
basketball challenge. Let's go do this.
Yeah. He was a big influence on us, and especially Good Mythical Morning was like the first big influence, because if you watch like our old set, we kind of modeled our set exactly like their set. And I just wanted to like learn from the best. So I emulated
and we went to their live show too. I surprised JV. I pretended that I got him tickets to who was it again? Bruno Mars. And he was like, I don't listen to Bruno Mars. And I was like, well, you should have told me that. And then we went and he's like, oh my God, it's Rhett and Link. Like, it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you got to do it though. You got to emulate, like you said, the best. Like you got to learn, you got to try and sample what people are doing, because that's the only way to figure out what works for you.
Exactly.
You make an amalgam of that stuff. And, you balance that with the reactions, getting into it. You did trailer reactions or other viral videos, but you kept the vlogs going every so often, and we were privy to things like your proposal and your wedding and baby shower and so on.
And when I told him I was pregnant,
we're having a baby.
we got that on video. That was like, it's so cool to have that.
Yeah, like what has it meant to you, I guess, to be able to share those moments with your life to like an audience and kind of build that connection with like the people who are viewing you?
It's so special. I mean, get teary. Like,
it's
amazing, because we get messages sometimes from people, and they say, like, I couldn't find joy or couldn't find happiness, and I connected with you guys, and I feel like I have people in my life. Like there was a couple
like my
people,
online friends.
And it's like they feel like when we do things like that we're giving them even more of ourselves, and the messages we get, the DMs, and it's just like
putting it into words like that. I never kind of thought about. Like they've seen our
lives,
engagement, our marriage.
We popped the balloon to find out Cheyenne would be a girl. In the pandemic, we couldn't have a baby shower, so we did a baby shower with our YouTube friends.
Yeah, we did a live show with
and it was so
shower.
It was so
cool. We gotta start doing that again.
Well, we haven't really had anything new. Like I've been doing some more like Instagram stories and stuff and saving those videos, and I keep saying, I'm going to turn it into a video, but it's like life just gets in the way with like these little girls that are like, it's wild having young kids. It's like,
but it's very special. It's very special to, like you said, to be able to document all of that, have that in your memories for yourself and for us. So
and we can show them one day too, like the kids, you know? It's so awesome.
And so you started dipping your toes into the reactions in about late 2016. And what was your, your early exposure to reactions? You said Tyromagnus and like some of the others. But when you started it, was there a learning curve as opposed to doing the vlogs to sitting down and doing it this type of format? Was there like a adjustment, to get comfortable in that setting?
Yeah, for sure. Especially with all the copyright stuff that was going on back then. It was a lot worse. Reactions weren't really as accepted by studios and other things. And so we started with a lot of anime at first. So we looked to channels like The Normies and Blind Wave. They were kind of like, there was Rhett and Link, and then there was people in our
Realm.
field, our realm, and those were the big guys at the time, right? So we were looking at what they were doing and how they were doing it, and then they started talking about Patreon, and so I was working full time. I was an electrician, so I'd wake up at 6 a.m., work all day, get home at 6, and then eat dinner, work out, and work on YouTube till midnight, right? So that was
this crazy cycle.
Yeah, that was
and
the
we
cycle.
were filming like all the time.
Yeah, like every day.
And it was funny because it was 2 days before we got married. He called me on the phone and he's like, I just want to quit. I want to try to give YouTube a run. And it's like, at that time I'd been teaching so long.
Yeah.
And it was like, if it doesn't work, well, like we're okay. And he could find his true passion. But his passion is YouTube, but it was just, we were scared it might not work. But it was like he quit. I said, quit. So he quit, and then that was it. And that was the start of it.
Yeah, and then I went full-time YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was August 17th, 2017.
Yeah. So it was a big adjustment to from vlogs to like really hunker down on reactions and make that commitment.
Very stressed the first year.
Yeah.
You're like, I have to make money. I have to do this.
I can imagine. I know that.
Yeah.
I feel that. But yeah, you started with Avatar: Last Airbender, which if you're going to start full time on YouTube, that's the one. Really. Sure. It has such a massive fandom that, I get, like I always say, it migrates with channel to channel. Whenever someone finishes it, they go find the next one.
Yeah.
And to start that off, I guess, what was that early experience like? Because like I said, it's a huge fandom, but Avatar is also notoriously difficult to keep up due to Viacom and copyright blocks and so on. Was that a sort of a big hurdle to get over?
Yeah, it was huge. Avatar, at the time, we didn't have much trouble getting it out. Like, they weren't getting copyright claimed.
But it was keeping it up, right?
But yeah, it was years later that they like basically all got taken down.
They wiped out our whole thing.
But so we were doing Avatar, and then we started doing Full Metal Alchemist and
The Brotherhood.
What else? Attack on Titan, Doctor Who,
the Hunter.
Hunter.
Did you say that one?
Yes. All
and
those
then we
early
went into
shows.
That crazy one with that guy and the sister that's like the demon or whatever, but he can control her. What was that one? That was
that
nuts.
was later on. Demon Slayer. That was later on. Death Note was another early one.
Death Note, yeah.
But those were extremely hard to navigate due to copyright. But we discovered the Patreon world,
Aspect,
and that massively helped us. Like, we were able to go full time. Well, I was able to go full time because of Patreon. And there was a lot of mistakes back then. Like, I didn't really know how to put multiple ads in, and like there was only one ad, so the revenue wasn't there. There's so many mistakes I look back on, but it was.
And we thought that we were doing enough before we had kids. Like, we thought, oh yeah, filming one a day is fine. But it's like, now that we have very limited time, we do more than we did when we had like crazy amounts of time. So it's I think as your life gets busier, you have to schedule more, and then you regret not scheduling before.
It is tough. It's tough to, I guess, look at the sort of scope of your channel and figure out like, what can we do to keep it growing, to keep pushing forward? Because like you said, like it's easy to say like, oh, we're comfortable here, but then things change. You got to keep adapting with the system as it grows. And like you said, you did anime. Anime, again, is also a huge hurdle to get over because of the copyright claims and so on for that. But when you started and you had, I guess, Full Metal, Attack on Titan, and so on, you started going forward. Was there any sort of specific strategy you had of like, I want this show for this aspect or this, here and there? Or was it kind of just like experimenting in that first go?
It was, we were talking to Married to the Real a bit, and it was like,
we
were going to chat with like Married to the Real. They're amazing people. They're the funniest.
Early days was just kind of, what is everyone else doing? What's popular?
Ride those coattails.
Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Ride those coattails. Well, let's try it out. Like, why are so many people watching Attack on Titan? We started watching it. It's amazing. So that's why Full Metal.
And then,
I didn't know. The only anime I watched before that was like Dragon Ball and stuff. So this was like a brand new kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
So,
and I found that once you were successful in something, you were more willing to sample something else. So as soon as you had something that was good, you're like, okay, let's throw this in and see if this takes off. Because then if it does, we can do that too.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was many years of trying. And it's like, Justin always has ideas. So it's like special if it's a, like, and we say it's a Jane pick because they're rare.
Yeah. Well, one of the, I think most astonishing things looking back when you were still in that era of like really, really hustling on all those shows was you were reacting through your pregnancy. And that was such a, I applaud you for that because I know it's obviously very difficult to say the obvious. But I remember recently my other friends Kat and Sunny from their own channel, they also had their firstborn this past year, and I had to step in and help with a couple of the edits in their final weeks as they're getting closer to the due date. And for you, I just can only imagine what that was like, just filming and putting everything out. And I guess what was that whole experience like, getting through that?
So there are 2 videos. I think it's WandaVision.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Maybe the finale.
I'm not sure. We didn't know I was in labor. We're doing 2 videos, and I'm like,
It was a Doctor Who and a WandaVision.
I'm like, my back. I'm like, Justin's rubbing back. He's like, oh, you're getting a lot of like kicks tonight. But if you watch it and you actually time my what would you call them? Like my
groans?
my like and then my like right after we wrapped up, I took off my makeup and my water broke. So it was like I was in full active labor and we were still filming. Yeah. And then I think I had to be in the hospital for 3 days because it was like terrible. It was a horrible birth and it ended up being C-section again. And then I came back home and I think we were filming within a week.
Yeah.
So it was wild. It was a lot of cover up right here. But it's just like if you don't do it, people leave.
Yeah.
So that's the like hardest part of YouTube. So it's like I was cut in half, right? Like there's 4 layers they go through, and I would sit here for 2 hours. And then Justin had to help me stand up because with a C-section, it's like, oh, it's so painful every time you stand up. And it would be like, that was just life. And I look back at those and I'm proud. Are you proud?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because it just feels like in different parts of our journey for YouTube, we've kind of both pushed through things that were like crazy hard to get through.
Yeah. And for people, like a lot of people, well, younger people want to become YouTubers and it looks like this great career and stuff, but there's also like, it's really hard, it's not like this like always good, always good times. Like it's really stressful. It's all on you, if things go wrong and you have to keep up with the uploads. And
I know when we were hacked a couple times and God, that's terrifying. Yes. It just happens so quickly and it's so scary and it's just like you feel like your world is turned upside down. Yeah,
and clearly I can see that you've both dedicated a lot of time and energy into this and to make it grow and flourish. And so it's the trap that I think all sort of reactors and YouTubers and creators get into is the idea of like, yes, like everyone understands the algorithm keeps going with or without you, right? So if you want to stay on that ride, like you have to sort of play ball, and it's a tough bargain to deal with. But once you had your kids and like that obviously changes your lives on a personal level, I guess what was that sort of transition like as well, just like balancing the work-life schedule there?
So it's really I never stop. I have like 3 jobs, so it's
what a lot of people don't get and don't know is that Jane is a full-time high school teacher as well, and she's a real estate agent.
Yeah,
and we have a successful YouTube channel as well. So,
and I feel like our kids want to be absorbed into me. Like I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like that part can be I don't know, a challenge because it's like
so especially for the first, we had Charlotte, our first one.
Yeah.
Things we still had, time we
She
could,
was such a
one
good
of us
sleeper.
could take Charlotte, and the
Yeah.
other can have some time, and vice versa.
And
but
we would take Charlotte, and it was like, that's back when I was doing some editing too, and it would like, I would edit a video, and then it was like, I would take Charlotte, you would edit a video, then we'd have Charlotte sleeping beside us, and we'd be filming.
yeah, so
She was a
the
good
first one
sleeper.
was a good sleeper, but the second one,
one.
that's where things get a little crazy. The second one,
Cheyenne.
we love them, but
She
the second one is
is-
kind of a menace. So it got a lot harder. Time is, we can only film from, so they went to bed at
Charlotte's
8
still awake. She
8:30 around,
They're
and then
supposed to go to bed
Jane
at
has to
8:30.
get up at 6 for work.
Yeah.
So like 8:30 to maybe midnight.
Yeah,
And
but
Jane-
I have to put all this on. So it takes me like 9 o'clock usually.
So there's a small window of
Yeah.
time we have.
Yeah,
to film.
so 9 o'clock, we're kind of sitting here, and then we start up and we film, and then it's like some movies are like
Avatar.
2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's the bit before, there's the wrap up. There's this whole extra part.
So
And,
it's finding time. Yeah. So if you don't have kids, get it all in now, because
as
when you
much
have
as you
kids,
can.
there's like very little windows of time you can
Yeah.
get.
It's kind of, and then it's a bit harder for us too, because like our older daughter, she's she's on the autism spectrum, so it can be more challenging, I think, because we don't always know what kind of day she's gonna have, and
Right.
like what kind of needs she's gonna have that day, and yeah, so it's like navigating that, and sometimes you have these feelings, but we need to film, and it's like we can't deal with them because we're like, the show has to go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a difficult balance, as it must be. But then, so by the end of 2019, you're married, you have your kids, and going into the pandemic, things change obviously because everything shuts down, everyone's stuck at home, and I just want to ask, what was your pandemic experience like with the channel? Again, balancing that with life and all the craziness going on that year.
It was amazing. We were the only people who were happy during the pandemic. It was incredible. No one could come over. We were mostly alone.
Yeah.
And it was like just us and the girls, and it was like we got to like really spend time together.
So that was, we had Cheyenne during.
Cheyenne was born in 2021.
Right.
So I was pregnant through the pandemic. And
Is that when we started movies?
we
started movies
Movies after, because
after.
remember,
Yeah.
I was in labor for WandaVision.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But it was, man, it was so, it was good for us.
Our channel
Our
was doing
numbers
really
went
well.
way up.
Yeah.
We started to, like, I wasn't allowed to go to work because I was pregnant, and I was having a really difficult pregnancy. And then they put me on medical leave, and then also the pandemic. So it was like, we were just home.
We had more time to film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
was
real estate just wasn't happening because like the world shut down, and it was like the first time that we were forced to slow down and really focus on YouTube and figure it out. And we tried movies, and that was kind of the transition for us. That was like, this is it. This is the good thing.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't believe I hadn't seen Jurassic Park. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
It seemed, I could tell, in the latter half of the pandemic, as it was kind of like a little bit slowing down, you did pivot. You did start doing movies. I think the general large rotation of shows that you had slowed down, you kind of dwindled it into like a very specific, precise rollout rotation of things you were putting on the channel, including things like South Park, Family Guy, Futurama, all like kind of like long shows, but like also very short shows to watch and edit through. So to me, from a editing standpoint, and from a sort of someone who's watched a lot of these channels, it seemed like a very meticulous game plan that you had, like a rollout of movies, shorter shows, like shorter I think times of like bulk of shows to put out. Was that a built-in strategy you were kind of like experimenting with?
I was just gonna say, those shows were so easy to stack reactions. Like if you had 2 hours, you could watch 6 episodes. And then that's like, if you're putting out one a week, that's 6 weeks. You know, okay, now you go.
Yeah. So we're always kind of experimenting. We're always kind of shifting things around. We're seeing what the audience likes. And Jane always had this idea to do South Park, Futurama,
Family Guy.
It was just those shows
because they were. I remember them being enormous and like people talking about them and
they're trying not to laugh.
Yeah,
Family Guy
they did really well.
Do really crazy numbers. So we decided to try it out for a while. It was doing okay. Our whole strategy is to kind of like push patrons. Right, that's like the big thing. Like what's it called? Your boy Roshi has like 16,000 and the normies have like tens of thousands. So we're always trying to
300.
we're always trying to like figure out, you know, what's the key to like, you know, getting higher patrons. So we're trying different things. The editing was crazy. It was a lot.
Yeah, but we had to break it like we had an editor. I did the whole Office, like the 2 seasons, and then I did Family Guy, I think.
You did a few. We do 1 week me, 1 week you.
No, you did South Park and
yes.
Yeah, it was like I was home more, so I could contribute more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were doing movies like
contributing.
But after you learned, you did well. So then we started doing movies like once a week, and then we noticed like every time we did a movie, it would be like
a big
huge
spike.
jump. Yeah, the RPM is crazy for movies. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Let's just do like a couple of weeks of just movies, and then we just saw the numbers go crazy.
And then that was the first Jane pick was introduced. Remember, I made you watch the Naked Gun series. Yeah. That was my favorite, my favorite series as a kid. It's like the only thing I watched, and it was so funny. And it was as funny as I remembered. But I edited those, and they are so bad. It's like we need to just send them to the editor and like re-release them. They're so I don't think I've ever seen worse editing.
It's not
and I was so proud of them when I did them. So it's embarrassing to like look back and you know, it's my first pancake. You know, the first one's never good.
Okay. You got to start somewhere. Always got to start somewhere.
But it's like such a good reaction, and they're such terrible cuts.
So with the movie reactions, like like you said, like there's obviously a sort of really strong uptick with like movies for, I think most channels eventually get there, if they don't start there. And I guess what has your experience been with like that side of the production, shooting it and editing it, obviously because it's a lot more time dedicated to that type of rollout?
It's a lot more editing, but the good thing is it got us to a place where we can hire an editor. So we have a full-time editor to do movies now, instead of, you know, it takes forever,
when it was shows, we could barely we couldn't have hired somebody, you know, like we only could do like every now and then. But when it was movies, like they just, like I'd say in the first, like, I don't know, the first few that went, our subscribers again like went way up, like they rocketed high.
Yeah, we were kind of in like a lull for a while, or what do you call it? Like we plateaued. We kind of plateaued before movies with we were trying new shows, like I said, with South Park and stuff, and you know, we're still going up, but it was very slow. And then when the movies hit, that's when we saw, you know, an obvious uptick. Like you said, a lot of channels end up doing movies as well because of that, and they're evergreen content. So we have movies not 5, maybe 3 or 4 years old that still get views today. So
but it pulls us back to like you know, like a familiar connection with the audience, because it's like we do the vlogs and stuff, but then like this is JV's passion and his love was Star Wars, and then his wife never watched them. No interest. And it was like you got to watch him watch Star Wars with me for the first time. And
Lord of the Rings.
And I made you watch Harry Potter.
And Jurassic Park.
So it's like just like things that you wouldn't expect that would be good, you know?
Right, right. And getting through all those franchises, like the large ones like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and so on. Were there any sort of like smaller surprises that, that you've watched so far that really stuck out? Like, I can't believe I've like missed this,
Naked Gun.
Oh yeah. Naked Gun was great. Yeah. But,
Leslie Nielsen is everything.
So one of the strategies when we started doing movies was I noticed before when I would try to get brand deals, they would take a look at the channel and they would see, a Family Guy or a South Park video that got 2,000 views, and they see a trailer reaction that got 7,000. They see a movie that got 50,000. So they wanted consistent, at least 30K and above views. So I was like, okay, this is the strategy: movies and then pitch to brands. Right, that was like the big strategy. And for a while there, we were just like,
we went on the Marvel movie marathon. So we did that, and that was like that hit. That was huge.
Yeah,
and then that
was
was great for the advertisers because they're like, oh, this one's good. And
I would, I would make the deals so they were CPM based. And so if I knew a movie would do well, I'd put the ad on that one.
Yeah.
So that was another reason. Yeah.
JV strategy. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Would you be able to explain what the CPM base is?
Okay, so it used to be the old school way is CPM. Now it's RPM. So it's how much you get per 1,000 views. So typically before the pandemic and all that stuff, it was as high as $40 per 1,000. But now it's down to $20 per 1,000. That's what I've been seeing in doing these deals. So you get $20 per 1,000 views. So if we're gonna do like Infinity War or something, like you put your ad in front of that, and then you'd get whatever. After 30 days, you get whatever
however many views times the amount you agreed.
Exactly.
Right. Good to know. Yeah. And so, once you, now that you're at this stage, we're a little bit, quote unquote, post-pandemic, as people say, has anything else sort of like shifted for the channel? Are you still experimenting with anything new, or you have any ideas that you're trying to sort of tweak?
We have brought back our podcast. So
great.
Yeah, our podcast is so much fun to shoot. It's kind of like therapy too. So if we're like mad at each other, we can talk about it. But it's fun, and it's even cooler because it's always been sporadic. So there's like our first ones, I had just had Charlotte, and I think it was like episode 6. I'm talking about the like birth trauma, and then like that led to like a bunch of we hardly have any women who watch our channel, but it led to like the few women that do messaging me and like saying, I had this, and they tell me their story, and I thought that was so cool. And then like, I don't know, now we're just kind of like, we're bringing it back, and we're asking people what they want to hear about, and we're talking about stuff, and it's a really good way, I find, to connect with fans. For reactions, we have like our hardcore fans and stuff, but I find that it's harder to make that connection with them. But the hardcore ones, they follow us on like Instagram, and they watch our stories, and they communicate with us, like message us. But like a lot of people will just be like, oh, I didn't like the way that you reacted to that, I'm leaving. Or she says Justin too much.
Yeah. So we find that we're experimenting with the podcast. We have its own channel. We find that having that strong connection creates like a
community.
Good community. A loyal community that'll buy merch, that'll support us in different ways. So
and that'll just keep coming back, like, because that's important too, right? Like, you don't want people to just watch the film series that they like and go away, and then they're just not there anymore. You want them to connect with like me and JV. I don't want them to connect with, I just want to see as many people as I can watching this film. I want them to like want to watch movies with us.
Yeah, that's exactly. One of the big hardest part about reacting is you'll do a show or a movie, and once that's done, they all leave, right? So we want people to come for us,
Yeah, makes sense. Totally. Building that community, absolutely. And so again, after so many years of doing it, I guess what would you say is the most consistent obstacle you've faced trying to maintain the channel?
Time.
Yeah, getting time to shoot is incredibly difficult because, like I said, like with the 2 kids, with Jane's career,
sometimes at night we're like supposed to film, and say if the girls were like crazy that day, it's like I'm trying to put on my makeup, but I'm crying because I'm so tired. I'm like, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, and there's sometimes when we just like don't want, like we just can't. Like it's either we had, like we said, we had a long day, or sometimes like me, Jane, we
scrap.
Yeah, we get into an argument. Like we don't
steps out of line.
But yeah, so it's time is the hardest thing. Yeah, trying to find time. That's why I've also started my own channel. I have a separate channel, JV's
because he thought we were spending
Adventure.
too much time together.
No, no. I just, during the days, I would have more time because Jane's at work. We have an editor now, so I had more time. So I started my own reaction channel with movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I almost
He
have
watches,
50,000 subscribers.
Kids movies, or like just things that I would have obviously watched because I'm scared of everything.
Yeah,
so
a lot of
kids movies
animated
make me happy.
Animated kids movies. I just watched what's it called? The High School Musical. I just watched that.
Oh, you watched High School Musical? We're all in this together. I love. Sorry, that's my jam.
For the first time. So so like you said, like you asked, time is the hardest, and then getting hacked is probably the second.
I would say it's close.
Or copyright claims.
Maybe that's 1.5. 1.5 1 is time. 1.5 is copyright claims, and 2 is hackers. And 3 is just like drive. It is like, I know it's hard to imagine because you would think like you're watching movies, but sometimes I don't want to watch a movie. Yeah, I want to lay on the couch and play Candy Crush.
And for Jane to commit to full time, it's like a big risk because she's been teaching for how many
15 years.
15 years she's been teaching. She's got a pension set up, and like if I'm like, let's do full time and try to like, but
it would
it might not work, and
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to imagine me leaving it and doing full time because like so my parents are they're like Irish immigrants, right? And when they came to Canada, they believed that you go to university, you get a job that has a pension, and you work there until your pension is eligible. And it's like trying to not do that is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like Justin says, "What? Let's try it." And I'm like, "But my pension," it's like so drilled into me, and it's like I appreciate them for that because obviously, like they helped guide me towards like what is guaranteed income later in life. But it's also it prevents you from like jumping all the way into the water. Like I'll sit on the edge and put my legs in, I might dip down to my waist, but I'll pop out after.
It's always a balance, like you say. It's always a balance of the safe thing, the dream thing, so on. It's tough. It's tough, but like you said, my pension is a very valid excuse.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Totally.
But also, what would you say? How have you grown with the channel over the last several years?
Okay, so professionally, we've grown to be like, I was always scared it would never reach the point where it was replacing his finances as an electrician. But like he got to that in the first year. Yeah. Right. And like that was the main thing. As a partner, like you want to be as supportive as possible. That I was like, if we can't figure this out in 1 year, we have to figure something else out. So that was kind of like, I feel like that was a little flicker under his bottom to like get moving, and he started it. He liked it a lot. And then he was like, I'm not going to do anything else. So I'm going to hit that number. and we put up a goal board, and we just started checking things off like one after the other.
Yeah.
And
there's that. And for me, it was kind of thinking about the business side of it. There's like the creative side, the fun side, and then there's
the
like
vlogs were fun, but they did not make any money.
So it's figuring out, monetization, putting in multiple ads, securing brand deals independently. Like that's incredibly difficult to find brands and reach out to them, but I figured out a way to do it.
Yeah. So if any brand people are listening, like we're open to it. No middleman, contact us.
Getting the Patreon up and running, and just figuring out like the business side of it, which I wasn't great at the beginning, and now I think I'm okay. I'm still learning, but yeah, that's the biggest part for me.
And then growth, like we've also grown as people, right? Because we were like 10 years ago, 11 years ago when we started. Was it 10 years ago? 10 years ago we started.
6 years. Wait. 7 like serious. 2016 was when we started.
But we were doing vlogs and stuff
but when we officially started doing like serious like reaction, okay, this is it.
But
was 2016.
I'm saying let me get to my point. Okay. See what I deal with? I'm saying when we started, it was like we were just kids, like we were like, we would not say what we need to say to each other sometimes, or we would, we're still worried about, I wore that shirt previously, like in another video.
Oh, yeah,
and it was like we would change our clothes between videos because we thought it mattered. And, it was like, Justin's like, this came out. We got to get something like if my hair looked bad or something, it was like, let's put a hat, let's just lipstick and we'll sit back further or something, and it was like,
would drop like
and so that I wouldn't have to put on like full face and then go to work. But it was like, we were just like, I don't know, we've changed so much. So now if I have an issue with Justin, or if he has one with me, and it's like after recording, I wait until all the lights are off and I'm like, we gotta talk about that. So it's like now we'll put everything out on the table, and we're able to like communicate more effectively than we were in the beginning, and we've grown so much. Like I like to think that when we started, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and like then in the middle we got married, but now I think we're more than that. We're like you're my best friend, and it's like, I don't know, we're friends and partners, and we have fun together too, like it's it's just, I think that we've grown so much because we've evolved on camera.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I guess my final question before we start to wrap up here is, beyond any monetary or financial value, what would you say is the most rewarding part of the channel for you?
The memories. Like sometimes our fans will clip moments between us, and they're like the most special times ever when I look at them. And if we weren't on YouTube, it would have just passed by.
Yeah.
So it's like we're joking around doing like wrestling voices or something, and we don't think anything of it in the moment. And then it's like 2 years later, that clip is still going around on Instagram, and it's just like, there's something so cool. And like, even going back and watching that WandaVision when I'm in that long sleeve blue shirt and I'm in labor, it's like when that video aired, it started with a picture of Cheyenne, because the first picture we took of her, and we're like that's so cool, that moment is there forever.
Yeah, there's that. Definitely. I like getting like really positive comments.
Oh yeah, those feel good.
Those are really really good. Yeah, when you get someone saying like they had a bad day and like your videos cheered them up, or those type of comments are always really nice.
I like the comments when people are like, they're like, oh my God, Jane is so beautiful or whatever. And then Justin clips it and he puts it on his Instagram. He's like, do you see what I have to deal with? I know, but I think it's just so fun, you know? And it's like, but people are just generally like kind, like not everyone, but a bunch of people. And I like when they when they tell us about themselves too. Like that feels good.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you both for coming on today. I want to wrap up with our final questionnaire that we always do. Is our Inside the Actor Studio type questionnaire, just 10 questions down the line for both of you.
Okay.
We'll get started right now, which is, what is your favorite TV show?
The Office.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, and Gilmore
my
Girls.
gosh.
Gilmore Girls. Okay. Office, Gilmore
man,
Girls.
That's such a hard question.
This the one with
good.
the guy. The guy that's not Magneto. The other one.
Oh, Star Trek TNG Next
yeah,
Generation.
and then he's like Captain's Log 2175.
Oh man,
It's that guy. What's that one?
Yes.
Voyager?
Star Trek Next Generation.
No,
All right.
TNG. Okay, that's it. He makes me watch it like
I
every
really
night.
like Ahsoka right now. It's really
That's not
good.
your favorite. That's
Ahsoka's
not your
good.
go-to.
The Office is up there.
Yeah.
The Office is great. What is your favorite film?
Oh man,
Naked Gun 33 and a third.
that's your favorite film?
Of all time.
All time? Yeah. Still the pick, yeah.
I have a bunch, but for the longest time, it was the first Matrix. That was my favorite film for a while. Yeah, I guess I got to think about these.
You got
and,
no.
like,
These
write
are
them down.
fire answers. You got to
Okay.
throw them out. Whatever
Okay,
comes into your head.
I'll take The Matrix. That's a very good one. I still enjoy that movie. I watch it every year, I think. Yeah. What stresses you out?
The children.
What stresses me out
Yeah.
when I finally get we have a video edited, it's ready to go. I'm really excited about it. I put it out and it gets copyright claimed. That's super stressful because you have to go back, re-edit it,
Right.
figure out what's wrong, and then re-upload it, and it gets copyright claimed again, and then it's just like it's a mess.
I say the children, but I mean just like I'm always worried about them, and like especially Charlotte, because like I'm just worried about what her life looks like, you know. But also Cheyenne, I'm worried about her too.
Yeah. But what about like the channel?
Oh, the channel. I don't know.
I'm
worried
sit
that
here and film and leave.
oh, I'm worried that I'll say something and then get in trouble teaching.
and get canceled.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
get in trouble teaching. Oh.
Yeah. Or like sometimes the shirts I wear, I'm afraid I'll have a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, again, it's the work-life balance, like I said.
Yeah.
Okay, on the flip side, what helps you relax?
Video games. I'm
Video
currently
games?
playing Starfield.
Gilmore Girls.
Good.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. I just like it's an anxiety thing, right? Like I just like to put in something that I know the ending, because then I don't have to worry about anything that's going to happen. And if it's an episode that is going to make me feel more anxious, then I skip that episode. I don't know
Oh,
what's
okay. If they're like fighting. or
Yeah,
something.
if there's going to be like something that I'm like, I don't like this one. And it's good because I know exactly which one will make me feel calm. And then I also sometimes knit.
Yeah. For me, it's video games and working out too. I like doing that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think that probably leads into the next question, which is what pastime outside of film and TV do you enjoy the most?
I love sports. In university actually ran cross country. I did track and I was on the volleyball team. So I loved it.
Wow.
Justin was a soccer player. So we were pretty athletic.
Yeah. But now it's like I said, video games and working out,
Video games,
basically. Yeah.
I like to go for
playing
walks
with the kids. Yeah. Going for walks.
I love
Yeah.
playing with the kids actually.
I have a gaming channel as well, but
you gotta watch Couples Craft.
we play
Minecraft
Minecraft together.
I am scared
Yeah.
of everything.
that's a good series. But
Yeah.
I was mixing work and my hobbies, so I was like, I don't know, I might get back to gaming
Lego.
again. Lego.
You like building Lego.
Yeah, I like building Lego too.
Yeah, he's got over here. There's like a whole display of all this Lego that he's bought,
Yeah.
and he put it high enough so that the kids can't touch it. Something for them to aspire to build.
Yeah. What is your guilty pleasure show or film?
Ooh,
Guilty pleasure. Oh, like that Love Is Blind show. Or the-
what was that program with Pedro, and the girl?
Oh, I forget.
She, 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Love Is Blind.
good
Love Is Blind. is
Those like
another one.
reality shows, those Netflix
Oh,
reality
I
shows.
can't believe I didn't say my favorite show. I
With
just
the
really remembered
challenge.
it. MTV's The Challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge?
It's
I don't
my
know what the
dream
challenge-
to
yeah.
one day
Oh, you
be
used
on
to
the
watch it too?
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch that all the time back in the day. Yeah, when it was like the real world versus road rules type
Yeah.
challenge.
I actually want to apply to Survivor to increase my chances to get on the challenge.
Yeah. I'm very much the same though or not the same, but I've heard the same from I think 2 other interviews I've done here for Love is Blind. It's like their answer. It's a big show.
It's like a crazy
we tried
guilty
to do
pleasure.
a reaction to it.
Oh, it failed.
bombed.
It didn't even hit 1,000.
We tried it didn't hit 1,000.
It was bad. I was so excited. I was so sure. I edited that one, and it did. It was a good
But it
edit.
was a huge hit on Netflix, but our audience just
They did not like it.
Yeah. It's a very specific audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would your dream profession be besides reacting, or maybe what you're doing now?
I would still love to interview athletes.
Yeah.
I think that's always for me. It's going to be the one that got away. I just, I was so sure I was going to do it, and I did everything to prepare for it. And then I got into teachers college, which I didn't think it was going to happen. And I was like, this is it. So I just didn't even try.
This is like my
this
dream
is his
job.
dream.
This is it. Making this more successful, making our podcast really successful.
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself it's kind of weird to say, but I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I was thinking
I would maybe do acting again, but something else, just for fun, because I have so much fun doing it.
What show gave you your favorite reaction experience on the channel? And that could just be the way it impacted you, or the way the audience and the reception, was for you.
I think for audience reception, it might be Jurassic Park. They were just remember I had the 3 back-to-back scares, and I banged the microphone and it went up. It was the dinosaur came out from behind the girl's head. It scared me. And then it was then the guy, Samuel L. Jackson had his arm here, and then his arm wasn't attached. And it just got me. It was 3 in a row.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was a good series.
That was a great reaction.
I really liked the Harry Potter series.
Oh, yeah. People were mad at me for that. Oof.
Oh, yeah, they were mad at you for that.
I kept, I wasn't trying to do it, but I accidentally kept spoiling things immediately before they would happen. I just love the books. I can't help it. I'm like, oh, this is when this is going to happen. And then Justin's like, for real? Yeah, that did not go over well.
Yeah, Star Wars was a big one for me too.
Well, yeah, when he's like, Anakin, you are my brother, and then he fell into the lava stuff and he turned into Darth Vader. That blew my mind.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
and
crazy.
We did all those skits. Doing skits.
Yeah, skits are fun.
The reactions was really fun.
I always mess them up.
We got to bring those back, but again, it's time consuming.
Yeah. And any reaction you can think of that people loved? Oh my gosh. I was mega pregnant when we reacted to the trailer of, what was that? That Avengers one?
Infinity War.
No, the one before that one.
Yeah.
Endgame. No, you're right. Yeah, Infinity War. And
Jarvis was
yeah, they did that thing on Jarvis, and I was so emotionally pregnant that I was like, I don't want Jarvis to die. And I'm sobbing. And people really liked that. It was so funny. I was just insane. I didn't even remember that his name was Vision. I kept calling him Jarvis, and I was sobbing. And it was so funny. And it's so funny to go back and watch that. And Justin's rubbing my back and holding me. It has 400,000 views or something crazy.
all over Vision. Yeah.
People share it. They're like, look at this crazy woman.
What film or show do you wish you could erase from your memory and watch again on the channel for the first time?
Oh man, these are some good questions.
Totally from your memory, you never seen it.
Yeah,
I would love to have had fresh eyes for Harry Potter. That was devastating.
Yeah, it's 9 movies though.
No,
okay. The whole thing that counts. That counts.
Just a single film.
Oh no, that's fine. Harry Potter.
What was that one where the Denzel Washington was he was like a bad cop, and he
Training
to that
Day?
guy. Yeah, that was wild. I would like to erase that and rewatch that because that blew my mind.
Yeah. Okay, for me, probably like easy answer is The Matrix.
Oh
The
yeah,
first
you
one.
love that.
Yeah.
He still
And, like,
isn't
that's
sure
all-
if we're
iconic.
out of
All
the
of
Matrix.
Star Wars. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And our final question here is, what advice would you give to yourself, your past self, if you could go back in time when you first started the channel?
Don't look at the negative comments. Yeah, I used to like feel sad about them in the beginning. Now I don't care. But in the beginning, remember, I was like,
I would coach you through it.
yeah, I was like, they don't like me. And it was like, I had this need to be liked, but I was so young. And then now I'm just like, who cares?
You could hide from channel.
Yeah, hide from channel. They can never comment again.
Yeah.
But
Well, they
yeah,
can
it's okay.
comment, but you just won't.
You'll
ever
never see it. Yeah. But it was like, that was hard. And I would say, don't give up, you know, because some of the times when we're having like mental health days and we're like, I just can't, I don't have it in me to film. It's like, I wish I could just like give that Jane and JV a hug and be like, you know, it's okay. It's just like the tree in front of you is on fire, but step back and the forest is okay. You know, I just like I think that's something I wish I could tell a bunch of people, you know, like not just ourselves, that like it's okay to have an issue. It's going to pass, but you have to step back and like look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. That's a good one. For me, I've actually thought about this a lot, but it could never happen. Before, when we had a lot of time, do
Before
more
the
shows.
children,
Okay,
do
so
more
we
shows.
were doing one show a day, and they were like 20 minutes. So
Right.
I was, I don't know what I was doing. I could have done more, but
Way more,
I would have done 3 or 4 shows a day, similar to some other channels that have just like
But it was
huge
like
followings.
your thing back then was that you just didn't, you thought we had to film and then you had to edit them the same day. Like that was a big thing for you. You always were like, I have to get to editing.
Yeah,
And it
but
was
I had
like-
a schedule. It was just one show a
Yeah,
day, and I
so
would have
it's-
done. Now I would have gone back and done 3 or 4
Yeah.
a day, and put the next ones on Patreon and stagger them like that.
Yeah, like when we filmed, I was pregnant with Cheyenne, but we filmed The Office, the entire season 1 in one sitting.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was amazing. It was the best day ever.
yeah. So,
But you know, it's like if we could have done more chunking of recordings.
yeah,
I'd go-
just when
go
we
back
had
and
more
say
time,
chunk more.
I would have done a lot more.
Yeah, you never know what's coming down the train tracks, so
Yeah.
do as much as you can before that train hits.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good advice. Words to live by. Chunk more. Take that to heart.
Chunk more. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you both for coming on today. I really appreciate your time. I know it's late over there in Canada, so I'll let you go. I guess get back to your precious time as you explained to us today.
no, this is great.
Thank you so much. Where can we find you online? Anywhere, YouTube, otherwise?
So YouTube, we're CJ and Go TV. Instagram, we have our own personal Instagrams. We also have
CJ and Go,
CJ and Go. I think it's CJ. Is it CJ and Go TV or CJ and Go Toronto?
CJ and Go TV on Instagram as well.
I think.
I have my own personal.
CJ and Go YouTube.
CJ and Go YouTube
Yeah.
on Instagram. I have my own personal channel, JV's Galactic Adventure.
Yeah.
We have a podcast channel, CJ and Go TV podcast. We're gonna change the name, but not yet.
And if you want to see like stuff about our family, I put it on my Instagram. It's just
Yeah.
Jane_Vickers_realtor.
And the most important, the Patreon.
Yeah.
CJ and Go TV /
Of course.
Well, hold on. Patreon.com/CJ and Go TV.
Yeah, we gotta get that one right.
Yeah, that's
Don't
that's
worry.
where you
We'll
can
have
go
it in the description and everything.
Yeah,
Thank
that's where you can
you.
go to support us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best place.
Of course. Like I said, thank you both for joining us. If you're watching us here today, please like and subscribe, all the good stuff. If you find us on the newsletter, subscribe there as well. Share the good word. We always appreciate it. And we'll see you all on the next one.